Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Texans Probe. Today, of course, we're back with Drew. It's been a little bit since we've been on here, so we're gonna today we're just gonna cover. We haven't covered the last three regular season games, so we're gonna talk about a couple of, throughout some of those games, specifically the Chargers game, because I think that was the most interesting out of the three. Kind of discuss what we saw, some of the trends from the offense, the defense, kind of what we want to see for the playoffs, obviously, and then preview this Pittsburgh game that's coming up. Obviously, big game the Texans are favored in. A game that they're the better team in. Obviously, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win, but I think everyone, for the most part, would agree that they're better than the Steelers. But Drew, how are you feeling?
Feeling good. I mean, this is what we kind of all expected, wanted, believed that they would continue their win streak, and they ended up doing it. I think most importantly is that, while they did kind of look a little bit off against the Raiders at times, when they played the Chargers, who is a playoff team, they looked like the way, way, way better football team. And they showed up for that matchup. They started fast in that matchup. And then the Colts game, I mean, you can call it what you want to call it. They took starters out. They didn't even play Nico Collins. And so the score is what it is. And so I don't really care too much about the box score of that game. But I think the Chargers game was really important just to show that the Texans are who they are. And there's no reason to believe they should lose to any team anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think you're exactly right. I mean, like you said, the Chargers game was interesting. We can kind of talk about it. We'll get into it, I'm sure. But the offense started about as hot as you could start in that game and then cooled off. I thought Jesse Minter did some really impressive things in that game. He really kind of went away from the Chargers' norms in that game. He threw some blitzes at you. He played more man than he usually would because, the Texans were just killing their zone early in the game. And so, it's an interesting kind of thing to look at. I mean, the Texans have been really good against the blitz as of late, but that game they kind of struggled against the blitz. So, just some interesting things from that game to take away. But overall, I thought the performance was good. I thought they looked like the better team in that game. And the Chargers have, I know the refereeing in this game was just not good. I thought it went both ways. There was bad calls for both teams
I
in this
agree.
game. Early in the game, I thought the Texans kind of got screwed. I thought Jalen Noel kind of got ran into twice on punt return with no
Oh yeah,
flag, and
it's
then
unbelievable.
yeah, and then which by the way, that crew is calling the Steelers and Texans game for the wild card. So there you go. But
Oh boy.
um, but yeah, I mean, I thought they were the better team in that game, and then um, I think it'll be interesting, what happens for the Steelers game. But the Steelers are just not as good of a football team as the Texans, and
No.
I think people kind of look at the Baltimore game and kind of get more afraid of it. Like Baltimore is not very good either. That's kind of the
No.
misconception. Like people think Baltimore is good because they have Lamar Jackson and they have these guys. Uh, they are not a very good team. They just aren't.
Yeah.
And neither of those teams really were all that good in that game. And really, Baltimore probably should have won, right? You get your
I
kicker a
agree.
45-yard field goal, and they. So really,
Didn't
I
get
don't
you.
I don't think. Not that I mean it's the playoffs. Literally anything can happen. Like
That's true.
Pittsburgh's a weird team so you never know. But when you look at it on paper, I think Pittsburgh is probably the worst team that's left in the playoffs. And so you got to
Yeah.
take, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to beat somebody in the playoffs, and they're not going to be terrible teams. So
Yeah. Glad the Texans are matched up with the Steelers, and also glad that there's other teams below the Texans that could potentially win their games and potentially give the Texans a home game in the playoffs too. I think that's huge, and it's really just not a big deal that they ended up not winning the division because say you get the sixth seed and you go to Jacksonville again and you just don't play well because you don't match up well with them. That stuff happens. You can let other things play out, and I have no reason to believe that the Texans are going to lose any games. And I think another thing that we can talk about is how Texans defensively they're getting maybe a little bit healthier, and they're going to be certainly ready to go. And no reason to believe they won't be back to the stifling, just killing you, 4th and 13s, 4th and 15s. Like that, and maybe even a Jalen Reed coming back or something like that, mix up in the safety room could be huge.
yeah, I mean, as we kind of talked about, you would think, the Texans cut Kayvon Wallace. They released, um, yeah, they released Kayvon Wallace, which was a surprise as well. He'd been the starting safety the last 2 weeks, and so like, we'll see what happens in that situation. I would assume Jalen Reed will be back. I know D'Amico Ryan said that he was close to returning a couple weeks ago, and then that he didn't think the injury was season-ending. So I would assume he'll be back. But we can kind of get into some of the tape. I kind of tweeted some of the clips as well. Like Kayvon Wallace, the last couple weeks has just had some total bust playing deep
Yeah.
safety, and you just can't have that for the Texans. So it kind of makes sense why he got cut. Although I thought he did some good things, downhill against the Chargers and against the Colts. So. We'll see what happens there. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'd be excited to see Jalen Reed play though, because now that they just know that Kalen Bullock is a great, put him up top, use his range. Jalen Reed didn't necessarily play from 15 yards deep at Penn State. He played a little bit more in the slot, in the box, maybe from 10 yards of depth. And I think that him doing that with the Texans is a great fit for him. He already had some great games in that role. I think it was a 10 tackle game by Jalen Reed at one point.
Yeah.
So I think that he's pretty much your future starting safety. Unfortunate that he was injured, but I think if he comes back, whew, that's great.
Yeah, it's something that I've kind of discussed, and like I know people, the secondary depth is not great. It's hard to find good secondary depth in the NFL. We've kind of talked about this on here as well. Like, there's not a lot of good backup corners in the NFL. So I know people don't like Draymond Smith right now, but um, it's hard to find good backup corners. But also, the Texans' plan at backup corner was Ronald Darby and Jalen Smith. Ronald Darby retired in minicamp. And then Jalen Smith has been hurt like almost all season, so
Yeah,
it's just a tough
it's
situation.
just
There's not
unfortunate.
much you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just, some stuff's going to happen. The Texans, for the most part this season, have been relatively healthy, so you got to take that when you can get it, obviously. But just not exactly uh, ideal injury wise in this for the secondary depth. Like I said, on other spots they've been pretty decent, but that's not one where they've been decent. They've been injured in the secondary,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
not ideal, but they were able to make up for it, and it's good that they were able to rest starters even too against the Colts. So it's really all good, and to get the win is cool too
Yeah.
because 12 wins is a new high for a long time.
Yeah, 12 wins is, I mean, like you said, what we talked about, it's the second most wins they've had in franchise history. So, um, obviously, the other season was they went up 12-4 before you added the 17th game, but also the Texans' 17th game this season they lost. So, it would have been Tampa, and they lost that game. So it doesn't, that doesn't really necessarily help them in that argument.
Yeah.
Uh, so. But obviously, it's nice to win 12 games. I mean, I didn't think they were even going to win 8 at one point. So to win
Exactly.
12 games is
We
pretty
really did
awesome.
not.
So it's impressive what they've done in this turnaround. And they've given themselves a shot, man. Like, they're one of the best teams in the league. Whether they go out and win these games, they're not going to necessarily play a team that I think they're not better than. In the AFC especially, I think they're better than the Broncos. I think they're better than the Jaguars. I think they're better than these type of teams. So. I think they can go beat anybody. Obviously, it's unfortunate not having home field because it really feels like they could have won 13-ish games and then gotten even the second seed or something like that. But it didn't happen like that. And they had a brutal schedule and they still won 12 games. So there's very little for me to complain about in that sense.
I mean, just the fact that you start 0-3 or 3-5 is really. But hey, most teams don't win 9 in a row and whatever. So the fact that they did that is cool in its own self.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so yeah, I mean, we can go ahead and get into some of the tape. We can watch some of the offense against probably against the Chargers. Or we could honestly just watch kind of what we've been doing with the third downs, just from all three of the games, if we wanted to do
Yeah.
that. That would be pretty good. And then we can talk about kind of the Kayvon Wallace and some of the coverage busts that they've had the last couple of games as well. Let me load up NFL Pro here. And we can kind of talk about offensive line play. The actually since we've talked, the Texans haven't allowed a sack, which is kind of crazy. Since the last time we did our episode, the last three games they didn't allow a single sack, so it's pretty impressive. Obviously, I think the offensive staff does a pretty good job protecting the offensive line, which we kind of talked about. Like that's not something they did the last couple seasons. So I'm glad that they're finally doing it. But it's nice to see. It's nice to see that. All right, third downs. Let's just go. Here, let me tap that in and let me share my screen. Okay, let's. All right, got this loaded up. There we go. All right, so we'll start with the Raiders game. This is the last game we didn't cover here, so we can start with this one. Obviously, not the best offensive performance in this game.
No, by
It
no
was
means.
it was pretty. Yeah, this was a pretty ugly game. Um,
But that's
I
a
mean,
cool
this
play.
is this. Yeah, good job from Stroud. I mean, Jake Andrews gets kind of pushed right into his lap, so it's a nice
Yeah.
job being able to get this ball out here. Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz, like we kind of said, he kind of wins in a weird way because again, he's not
He
really
does.
running a route. He just kind of like bodies, and then he just kind of
Yeah.
finds an open spot, sits there. It works though. It's been again, he's been effective this season. He actually almost got his career high in yards in a season. He was like 20 away. So he's been really good this season.
That is a very impressive win. I mean, there's really no way to describe it other than he's just kind of putting dance moves on the defender, and he eventually just turns around and the ball is there. I mean, that's not a route, really. I mean, you see hand
Yeah,
fighting.
I don't really know.
I think he draws a lot of hand fighting, and he understands that, and then kind of wiggles off of it a lot. I think that's what he does a really good job at. I really don't
Yeah.
love the way he runs routes because you know he's not going to burst. Um, Look how high his stance is, but then he turns. He doesn't cut. He kind of just turns and moves around, and that's kind of what tight ends are always meant to be, really.
Yeah. Trent Brown 100% false stretcher, just so we're aware.
Yeah, all that.
It was 100% early, but it's okay.
Yeah,
That's the thing that I'm going to be watching from the offensive line as well. I wonder, Trent Brown, he'll probably be back for the playoffs, but I do wonder if they would consider keeping Titus at tackle and then putting Patterson at guard. I think they'll probably go back to Trent Brown at tackle,
really,
but
that's
I think
tough.
they
That is a
will.
tough call. I guess we'll have to take
Yeah,
it. Obviously, we'll take a look at how Patterson truly, truly did. I didn't notice anything too bad necessarily from
yeah.
Patterson. But
I didn't think he played very well against the Chargers, but he was pretty solid against the Colts.
yeah.
Um, I think they'll. I would lean that they'll probably go back to Trent Brown and then Titus at guard. But you never know. We'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
it's a very tricky decision. It looks like he always kind of had Hutchinson here. I believe that, or is that Kirk? Can't really.
That was
Uh,
Hutchinson. Yeah,
it was Hutchinson. Yeah, it's just kind of hard to throw that ball with anticipation when you got the robber about 7 yards, 8 yards. Near
yeah.
the,
Creative blitz too. I mean,
I
you're
agree.
able to kind of muddy the pocket. Actually, like honestly, the Texans picked it up pretty well. Like, there's not anyone that had like a free run here. I think Woody actually, I think that's Dare that puts the guy. Yeah, he cuts
Yeah.
him. That was a good job by Dare. Like I said, they picked it up pretty well, but it's difficult because, like you said, you're trying to throw back right, and that's really where the
Mhm.
blitz is coming. So you really can't, like you said, the robber's kind of sitting on this, so you can't really throw it until now. And then you're in a weird spot because your foot, like the footwork's off because you're kind of leaning. It's kind of leaning to the left and then having to throw back across right. So it's kind of it's not that's not a really easy throw. But you'd like for him to make that throw.
Mhm.
I would like to see him instead of kind of shuffling the feet, kind of just set and then rip it instead of kind of
I agree.
shuffling
It
and then
does
he
look a
kind of
little
just
kind
throws
of
it
flustered.
flat-footed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of throws it flat-footed, which is that's a kind of a tough angle. It's kind of a cool arm angle, but
It is. It is.
uh he just it's just that's a tough throw to make too.
Frankly, what the Raiders, had defensively and coverage kind of stopped that play. You see the angles are really,
Yeah.
difficult. Not many. There's
Yeah,
definitely
the
not a way.
Raiders defense was actually like they've had some pretty good games against good or not good off. I guess I wouldn't say good offenses, but against
Like
playoff
the
teams.
Texans are good. Yeah.
Denver, Denver, they played well against the Chargers. They played well against so those kind of teams. They've been able to kind of slow down. So I mean, their defense has talent. We've kind of talked about
Mhm.
this. Max Crosby's a good player. Obviously,
Yeah.
that guy's pretty incredible. But they have some guys as well.
Hmm.
And then this one, I mean, not really anywhere to go here.
No, I agree. Nothing is open. I don't know if
So
that's
I don't really.
yeah. I mean, the defender on Nico Collins is playing inside leverage against an inside route. I mean, that's
Yeah,
hard. You'd like Nico to maybe be a little more physical and try to draw a flag there. He doesn't. That's really the one thing you can say there.
yeah, he
Uh,
kind of just
and
stopped
then
playing.
they're really not separating on that. Under
Yeah,
to
I
the
mean,
corner.
maybe you could go to Kirk at one point, but
Yeah,
I don't know. Kirk doesn't really do a good job at the top of this route creating separation. If a
yeah.
football, he kind of stomps his feet, and then
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's kind of just an
Yeah,
awkward
not
route.
really
But
stopping, more so. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about this. I mean, I've kind of talked about this, and I think Jaden Higgins has been really good as a rookie.
mm-hmm.
So I don't necessarily hate the idea of like, okay, we're just gonna give him a one-on-one shot if nothing's open down the field and see if he can win. I mean, this ball's kind of out of bounds, but he kind of gets hit while he's throwing it by the lineman. But at least in this situation, if he's more to the sideline, you could give him a shot, or it
Mm-hmm.
just ends up being out of bounds and you punt. Like we talked about, the one thing you can't afford is turnover. So if you're going to throw this type of ball, get it to the sideline and like either Jade Higgins catches it or you just punt it.
Agreed.
Uh, I'm fine with this decision here. And by the way, I was going to bring it up. I forgot to bring it up to you, but I remember we talked about this in training camp, and you said that Jaden Higgins would lead the team in touchdown catches, and he's
Touchdown.
tied. He's tied for the lead now. So there you
Oh.
go.
Almost at it. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Him and Nico are tied for seven. Well, I guess Nico technically has eight, I think, because he has a rushing touchdown.
Okay.
Uh, but Higgins also didn't play until like week 6, so
Sure.
I'll give it to you.
Didn't feel like it.
We'll give you credit there.
Here, I mean, obviously they're in a longer yardage situation, and so
Yeah, it's at third and
you
13.
see the routes are long developing as well. A little bit of pressure, want to say,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Looks like
Loss.
an
Yeah,
inside
Titus
or
Loss.
slim move worked him by that three technique. So less
Yeah,
than
Titus
ideal.
got beat here.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Oof,
move.
big time. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good move. Who was that? 96? I don't know who that is,
I don't know, but
but
that
good
was
move for
quite a
him.
move.
That was a good move. Oh, this was a nice this was kind of a cool play, and I mean this is good from Kirk, but um
Yeah, and you see multiple routes open here too. So
yeah.
credit to Kaylee for dialing up the bunch formation, fake the
Not really
bubble.
sure I'm not really sure what Lonnie Johnson is doing here though.
Well, it is Lonnie Johnson, so.
Yeah. I don't really know what his
Woo!
idea.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
what
not
he's
how you
trying to do
play
in coverage
coverage.
there.
Good lord.
Yeah, that was not good.
Never mind. That kind of just changes the whole perception of the play when you see a player just getting out of technique like that.
Yeah. I would say, if that's not there, you probably just rip the backside to Nico because he's open as well.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean that, like you said, good play, but yeah, I mean that's just bad coverage.
Yikes.
And this one, I remember this one because I was at this game. I'm sitting right in this end zone down
Yeah.
here. So I remember watching this and being very confused at what was going on. This was just a weird, this is just a weird play. They had three guys sitting in like 5 yards
Mhm.
apart from each other.
I
It
agree.
made no sense. I didn't know what the plan was here because this is a very easy throw if you don't have
Oh
Nico
wow.
and
You got two
Stover
sit
sitting in the
routes.
same
Yeah.
spot. Like they're literally bringing they're bringing multiple defenders into the area. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what the idea is here. Like Nico and Stover are literally being guarded by one guy,
I mean, you can't
and
even
there's
make
I think
you can't make it up because even if Nico ran a drag route, then he's still disrupting Kirk, and so I just have literally no idea why. I mean, you would assume that the tight end's supposed to really run across the field and make it into a mesh concept, but instead, I guess that's Schultz or Stover. Can't tell.
that was
Is just sitting.
Stover. Yeah, that was Stover.
Stover is just sitting where he probably should have ran a drag route.
Yeah, it's just this is just a bad. This is bad spacing. That's kind of what I thought. Like it's a miss, but I don't really blame Stroud on this one. Like it's just kind of like this is just kind of a bad
Yeah.
design or bad execution. I don't know, but like it's just a weird play. Probably should have run this a little bit better.
Yeah. Just chalk it up to that. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what that was. This one, I don't remember this actually. Oh, I do remember this. I take it back. I remember what this was. This is just like a essentially just a go route to Nico. They
Mhm.
just threw him like a fade.
That kind of stuff is what you want to see more, but it just really doesn't feel like it's ever happened.
No, I guess it's good news that Stroud can throw a normal fade, but because
Yeah,
the goal line fade is this ball. This is a goal line fade. This ball's probably out of
very
bounds, but good throw here. I
yeah.
mean, I don't. I think that's Rocky Sin playing corner. So I mean, that's just actually it's. I mean, it's not even bad coverage. There's just not much he can do.
Yeah, really not much. So a good connection there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And this is there's three. Yeah, just it's easy. Just sit down.
Oh yeah, that's the kind of stuff, or more so the reason why you get a guy like Christian Kirk, because nothing else is open. But he finds the space, and Stroud's on the same page
Yeah,
fix it.
yeah. That was the nice part. Is Stroud kind of throws this to the outside shoulder, which is pretty
It's
much where
great
you want
timing.
this
You
ball.
can see him really
It is
trigger
good
quickly
timing.
after scanning the field, hitches, and boom,
He's throwing it.
he
Yeah, he's
comes
throwing it
out.
right there.
He
Yeah.
sees because he knows he's settling and he's ready. That's great.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't think on rewatch this was as bad of a Stroud game as kind of people were talking about it. Like people were mad about this game. And it was not. It was an ugly performance, and there were
And
some bad
frankly,
throws in here.
he's
But
looking good on third down though too. I would say the
yeah,
throws are definitely good. We haven't chalked up a single mistake on third down
this
up
was
until
bad.
that.
This was bad.
But then that's really
This
bad
was
because you
bad.
see him already.
He just read this wrong. Yeah, he just read
Yeah,
this incorrectly.
yeah,
And I think he just maybe didn't see Devin White run
yeah.
with
I
Kirk.
agree.
I would guess. But yeah, this is like this is bad.
But even then, like, even then, there's
Yeah,
no
it's just a
reason to
bad.
throw
Yeah, I don't know why he would throw that.
it.
I don't know. I think he just yeah. I guess he just walked onto Kirk here and just yeah.
Yeah,
It's just bad.
very strange. Very strange.
This one. I don't know what this was. Oh, I was like I told you. So I'm in the end zone here, and they're going the other way now. This
Yeah,
was such a good throw, and people were like, "This throw is not good," and I was so mad about it. That's literally that's
that is
about
an
as good as
awesome
it
throw
gets.
because
Yeah.
it's so subtle too.
Yeah. I mean, that's literally like Nico has to drag the feet here. I don't
Yeah,
like being critical of Nico because he saves the offense a lot, but you got to get your feet down here.
yeah. There was no other way or no other spot for Stroud to throw that ball to.
I gotta find the tweet of what I said and see what people said about this because I was like, I watched it. I'm like, I don't know how we're looking at the same
Yeah.
play. Um, what day was it? Here we go. I gotta find this because
Yeah,
I'm pulling it up on my phone.
that's
I'm
hilarious.
very. I just couldn't believe that people. Yeah, here. Um, the ball was high. The ball was too high. Like, are we serious, guys?
Ball
It
does not.
wasn't a good throw. The ball was too high, Jacob. It seems like you're too high in your honeymoon phase. Like, are we serious, guys? Are we serious? That was a perfect throw.
Yeah,
And actually, on replay, I will say I think Nico did get his feet in.
he kind of
They just
does look
didn't
like
challenge
it.
this. Yeah, so just
I
probably
see
should have
two
challenged
feet.
this one, but yeah. But no, I didn't understand from I guess maybe on TV it looked like maybe it looked different, but I'm like, guys, I'm standing here. I'm like, this is about as good as a throw as you can get.
Yeah,
Like that's a pretty perfect throw to the sideline.
that's cool.
And then this series was a disaster. This was a series after the Genty, like the long Genty touchdown.
Mhm.
And through like two incompletions, got a penalty, and then this run was just just
Oh, I
totally
remember
blown
just
up.
feeling degraded because we were up two,
Yeah,
or they're up two, and we do
this
that.
is a disaster.
It gets like nerve wracking and
Oh, so that
concerning.
get off is ridiculous. He was
Yeah,
just, I mean, not much Schultz can do on the pull here.
no, you just perfectly timed it.
And then, oh yeah, then this series. No, wait, wrong one. This was a good series. Um, and then you kind of I know you to end up kicking a field goal here. I don't necessarily hate the toss here. Um, I don't hate
No,
it. I mean,
I
third
don't.
and one.
The problem is it's to the boundary, and I just hate that because of
Yeah,
the space. Ugh.
I disagree with the fact that I know people. I know people. You have a good defense. You kick the field goal here. I disagree with not going for this when you need like a half a yard, but um, I don't know. I get you want to kick a field goal. I just think at some point you got to go get touchdowns and like maybe against the Raiders it's different, but if this happened in like a playoff game and it lost and you lost by two, I'd be pretty upset. So um, I just think in this situation, especially when you run toss on third down, it feels like a call that like you feel like you're going to go for it on fourth down if you don't get it.
Without a
But
doubt.
you know you wanted your points, and so fair enough. They won the game, so.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
I'd like to see a little bit more aggression from that situation.
I'm not sure you'll see that against Pittsburgh because there's just, I
No, I
mean,
don't think against
is
Pittsburgh.
the
Yeah,
Steelers'
I agree.
offense good? Not really. Is the Steelers' defense good? Not really. So,
Yeah, I don't think you'll see that against Pittsburgh either. And then this one, I mean, you just got a little drag route, not much here.
yeah.
Uh,
I think
Nico's
Kirk
also
obviously
open if you
won the
hold the
route.
ball.
Problem is the safeties there. So, again, the Raiders coverage wise looked like everyone was in the right spots to defend a lot of the calls. And
Yeah.
so,
Well, even today I saw. I'm not just saying he's going to get a job because he probably won't. But Pat, I know like their DCs has gotten head coaching interviews, so clearly teams at least think highly of their defensive coordinator,
yeah,
and they were bad, right? So the fact that their defensive coordinator is still getting interview requests is probably a good
I
sign to
agree.
like how people feel about their defense.
Hmm.
And it's not like they have a ton of talent, especially in the secondary. Their secondary is pretty bad on paper. So like you said, they're in good spots. I mean, I mean, it's third and four, so you cover that pretty well. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a pretty good catch by Stover. It's actually kind of a bad. I don't know what he's doing at the top of the route. He kind of like, it's kind of a weird route. He kind of like is like walking in. I guess like I don't know what he's like. He's like hop stepping.
I wouldn't
I don't
really
know what
want
he's
him to
doing.
do that. Maybe like a extremely springy, wide receiver. He's just way too stiff to be messing with his momentum like that.
Yeah,
Won't like
yeah, I
that.
agree.
That's funny.
And then you get pass interference. Oh, this was the pass interference to the end zone. I mean, I thought I liked this play, and I do think this was the right call. It was kind of close, but um,
You also have Kirk too. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely have Kirk. But I'm glad they drew pass interference because I don't know what the hell Lonnie Johnson was doing. It really doesn't make sense. I don't understand why defensive backs just don't get it. And they think they're cool and they celebrate after they do it too, but they just grab and they don't get their head around the ball. And so
you
that's
can't.
penalty.
I don't know. I don't know why DBs like try to grab a guy's hand. That's probably the most obvious type of grab.
Exactly.
Like you can't grab a guy on the hand and expect that not to get
Yeah.
called.
Don't reach
He
out.
literally is just grabbing Nico's
Yeah,
arm.
it
You
makes
can't
no
really miss that.
yeah, it
So,
really makes no sense.
and if he's not held here, this is probably a touchdown in my opinion. I think Nico's going to get this ball.
Yeah, without a
Slows him
doubt.
up a
In
little
stride.
bit. I
Good
think he's
ball.
getting that. Yeah. And then you get another PI. And then
Yeah.
this was the stupidest PI in the world too. They was like, this is like third and 23 or some shit. And they just like I don't know what to make of this call because I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a weird call because like this is not a catchable ball, but you also can't like he has like both hands around Nico at the top. I don't know. This was kind of ticky tack, I kind of thought. But this one felt less of a penalty than the the other one for sure to me. But I think both of them probably should have gotten called, and they did. This one was
Again,
just a
that just
little
makes no
closer.
sense to do that if you're a defensive back.
Yeah,
I just don't get why you would feel the need to do that.
yeah. I don't really know. I don't know what that one was. I
And
don't
that's
know why
probably
he would
another
do
reason why
that.
Pete Carroll got fired because you have players out there that are doing
I mean, third and 20. You don't need
that.
to do that.
Yeah, no need.
And then you had a third and 5. This was a little sit from Jaden Higgins. Finally, Jaden Higgins got in the action. This is like his first
Yeah,
catch of the game.
yeah. I love how the ball is kind of high too. I mean, to a taller receiver, that's nice. He can use his height
Yeah.
to his advantage.
Yeah, I mean, good protection. Good job by Stroud just kind of sliding up, and
Yeah,
it's a pretty easy throw, but good
yeah,
pocket movement, I'd say.
for sure.
And then you get the game winner, third down.
And that was a pretty cool play too. I mean, that's this kind of the
Yeah,
stuff you want to see from your superstar. Unbelievable.
some balls out early too.
Yeah,
I guess I
it
didn't really
is.
realize that. That ball's out early, man. You're just trusting him to go
I
win,
mean,
which I mean you
perfect throw,
should.
perfect catch. I mean, that's an
Yeah.
awesome way to
I
win.
mean that's what we've talked like we've talked about that on here. Like the offense, I mean, they have their moments. Like they're not a consistent offense, but they have moments. All that they need on offense is some big plays from Stroud to Nico, and then just whatever else. Like just don't turn the ball over. That's literally all they need on offense. So the fact that they've done that, whether it's Stroud, I guess Higgins is probably in that mix too of guys that can go make plays down the field.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, in this situation, you just trust. I mean, you just trust Nico to go win. In a game like Pittsburgh, I mean, Pittsburgh's DBs. I watched the Ravens game. They're not very good. So no matter who's playing corner, whether it's like you would expect your receivers to be able to win down the field. You got to give them some shots down the field and like hope that they can go make plays. I would say.
It's kind of
And
stuff.
then, all right, we'll move on to the Chargers game. I mean, this game, obviously this is a fun play. I know
Yeah.
they talked about it on the broadcast last game, actually, that Stroud wanted to add the post to this play. Uh,
Yeah.
I know you were at the game, so you may not have heard
Right.
the clip, but I think they said like they had this play installed or whatever, and then they had some other route for Higgins here or whoever whoever's
Maybe
in
just
that
like a
spot.
sit route, but
And
instead he runs
Stroud,
a
yeah.
post. And so
And so Stroud talked to Kaylee and suggested adding the post to this play, and then you go get a touchdown.
I mean, it's
Actually, that
super hard to
I gotta
guard
find
because
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I gotta find that clip and post it because I thought that was really interesting during the game. I gotta find what part of the game that was. I don't know.
I mean, that's a good
Um,
walker step too. He's selling the go the whole way too.
Higgins is a very refined route runner. I
He
thought.
is. Yeah.
His release packages are really good. Man, like yeah, he's a good player. He's a really good player.
Yeah.
Great celebration, by the way, as well. I approve of the celebration.
Yeah.
And then I thought one of the more impressive things since the Stroud return, I think he's been much better at the line of scrimmage, which is a big deal. He's been
Mhm.
really good at checking into things. I guess you can't really see here, but I mean, he's clearly checking into something or changing protection. And they picked this up well. I mean, Kirk is just,
I
just
think
you're
he's
running an
triggering
outside leverage
super
route on
quickly.
it.
I think he's really
Yeah.
flipping his hips and getting it's so connected, and he's got a lot of velocity on the ball, which is something that's not really talked about a lot, but that is a lot of velocity, and it's a super quick
Yeah.
release. It's
And
hard
I
not
will
to
say what's interesting about the Chargers game plan, and I guess we'll see if teams try to do this. The Chargers like were the first team I've seen that man, they really spied Stroud a little bit. And honestly, it wasn't against the run, it was just trying to bat passes. And
Yeah,
they did it well. The defensive line did it. It's weird that they were the first team I've seen that really tried to do that. Like look at all the defenders
yeah,
here.
they're
They're
trying to
not
back
like
it up.
Henley and whoever 45 is. I think 45 is I don't know who that is. It might be, or I guess maybe it's 95, or no, it is 45. But they're not even rushing. They're just standing here and waiting to try to bat a ball. So they really only have two rushers. It's a very weird idea, but it worked in this game a couple
Yeah.
times. Um, and so, well, I guess we'll see if teams continue to try to do that. And then this was a weird play. This was like just didn't. I don't know what the idea was here. Um,
Yeah, that was one of those
something was
plays.
wrong.
It's really annoying because you don't get anything from it. It's just failed. It just totally failed. It's a fake screen, and there's pressure too.
Yeah, that was bad. That was not good.
And that's when the game got weird. It's like you start fast, and then that happens. It doesn't really make too much
That
sense.
and then the Dalton Schultz penalty on this drive.
Yeah,
It just
my
you
dad
kind
was
of
so
killed your
pissed. It was
momentum.
pretty funny.
This is a hell of a throw.
That's
This
awesome.
is one of the more impressive throws he made of in the whole game, probably maybe of the whole season. It's a
Yeah.
good. I mean, it's a tough throw. Again, you're throwing. This is kind of similar to the Hutchinson throw from the one that we covered the week
Woo!
before.
Yeah,
Like you're throwing back across when you're flat-footed. It's a tough throw, but
it
he can
is.
obviously make it. It's a cool arm angle too, like we talked about.
Yeah, I mean,
And again, the Chargers are doing the exact same thing on third down. You have Henley in a spy. 45 is. I mean, he's actually kind of rushing here for once, but
it's a really delayed
um,
stunt that works, frankly,
yeah.
technically. Um, yeah.
I would assume throwing a Woody Marks. What is this? Yeah, 3rd and 17.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, fake
Just
screen.
kind of what you gotta do. I mean, I will say though that the way they ran that screen is just kind of weird. That you never really want your running back jumping up for the ball like that, and the blocker is really hard out in space, and more of a
That didn't really
failed
work.
screen than anything.
Yeah. I'd actually kind of like. I'd like to throw it to the other side. I'd actually like to throw the screen over there because you have the numbers
Yeah,
advantage there
exactly. You might as well
more than
check
you
to
do the
that.
other way.
Yeah.
If you, I mean,
Oh, you should have
if you
absolutely
check to
checked that.
this,
And I mean, obviously, Noel
yeah,
doesn't even look ready. Noel doesn't look
you don't
ready,
even
but
need to get a first. You don't even need to get a first down. If you could just get to like here, you could kick a field
yeah.
goal. I mean, 42 ish. You could try a field goal if you want. So I
Mhm.
would like to check into this other play.
Agreed.
I don't know. Is Titus like what is? I don't know. He just has like his hands up. I don't know what he's like. If he's like confused about something or like the play. I don't know what he's. I don't know what he's doing.
No, I don't know why he did
I'm
that
very
because he
confused
moves
at what he's. I'm very confused. Is he signaling touchdown? I don't know what he's doing.
up.
I gotta
Touchdown.
ask him about
Well, wait,
this.
we
Yeah, I
didn't.
don't know.
Yeah,
I gotta
please
ask him
ask
about
him.
this. That was
Too
pretty
much
funny.
adrenaline.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about.
He's going through it.
And then this
Anyways,
one, oh, this was a batted ball. This was tough. There is a window to throw this ball to Higgins, which is what they're trying to
well, I thought
do.
one of his interceptions was pretty weird, and obviously it after review ended up being batted, but initially it looked kind of weird. But you see what he's trying to do. He's trying to go to Higgins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's a tough throw either way. But if this, you could get the ball out
He's
here
6'4",
for
so like
sure.
I kind of what I was saying earlier is like he's 6'4", and Stroud's able to throw high to him.
It's a
That's a massive
beautiful
advantage.
route too.
Yeah, it is.
He separates really well at the top of this route. Look at that.
Woo! Snappy, and he's just
Yeah.
so long too. So the fact that he can do that is really impressive.
PFF, by the way, didn't count this as a turnover worthy play. Just so
Good.
we're like, if
I
we
mean, I would
track that, they
agree.
didn't count this one.
I
So
agree.
this one's more unfortunate than anything. But like I told you, they had success batting the football.
Yeah,
Like they did this the entire game, and good. I mean, it's good awareness by the defensive line. Clearly, it was something that they was a coaching point in the week, and I guess
definitely.
I don't know. I mean, because they did it well for sure.
They did, and it's good that they were tested in that way because there's obviously
Yeah.
ways they can fix it.
Yeah, I thought Jesse Minter in this game. Like I told you, I've told people, I would be afraid if he got a head coaching job. If he goes to Baltimore, I think that would be a
Yeah, that'd be
little,
cool.
uh, yeah, it'd be cool for them, not for I don't know if I'd be real thrilled as a Texans fan, but
Yeah,
this one I like the play. I like the idea of getting Woody on like this wheel,
I do
but
because that's a mismatch. I think
yeah,
I just feel like there's a way that you can come back to the ball there or draw a penalty because he really hasn't
that's
beat.
what I was gonna say. I think if he turns, you
If he stops, if if Woody marks it stopped there, and gets some momentum, gets 98 to crash into him, they can
Stroud
probably
can't really throw
get
this
some
ball.
sort of penalty. Yeah,
Yeah, Stroud can't really throw this football to the middle of the field.
yeah,
You kind of have to throw this towards the
hmm
sideline. It's
yeah.
really
You see a
not a
little bit of a window
horrible
for
ball.
Deacon, maybe.
Yeah, so it's tough. It's a good blitz against it if you're the Chargers as well. Like I
Yeah,
mean, you get Khalil Mack running free, so it's tough. It's a tough one. And then This was a hell of a play by Troy Dye. I talked about this too. This one was one where I remember people were like losing their mind about it because it was close to a pick six. But
Yeah,
this is honestly, to me, this is more of a good play by Troy Dye. He fakes the blitz and then
right.
backs out. And I mean, like, you can't play that much better than he played
Yeah.
that.
I mean, you would
You know,
like
you're
CJ
Stroud,
to
you're
see
thinking he's
that.
blitzing. Yeah.
That's true. But the thing is, CJ Stroud's eyes are locked on a target that's not necessarily open. If you know what I mean. Yeah, he's not open
Yeah.
by any means. But you're right. It's close to a pick six. More
Yeah.
importantly,
Obviously,
and
if you go to
Dare's wide
start, he's
open.
wide open.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. He's kind of,
yeah, but the thing is, he's drifting away from. I guess is that kind of a
yeah.
blitz? Yeah, never want to do that.
What is this? Oh yeah, this is like a little check down. This was a good drive, and then it stalled because I think there was a penalty on this drive. I forget who it was on. It was like a receiver holding or something.
Something weird.
Because this was they had a Nico boot that was a good play.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I mean, it was just kind
And
of
this was kind of a
it stalled
surprise.
out, but
Yeah.
the roughing the passer, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
At this point, I was actually driving to the U of H and LSU game, so I didn't even catch a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. I also feel you can draw. I don't know. It feels like you can draw a flag there too. I mean, that was a really good ball though.
It was a good ball.
Really good ball.
We can go back to this as well.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird route concept, though. I feel like on a 3rd and 7, like Dalton Schultz is just running up the seam as well. I mean, he's
It's a
actually open
very
early.
I think they were just kind of hoping the Chargers would blitz and catch them in a bind and in terms of this being like an open window with all those routes there. But that's a really good blitz by Jesse Minter because there is not space to do that because you have the guys replacing where the blitz was in coverage.
Yeah, I mean, some of these blitzes and the sim pressures that they threw were just really impressive. Like they did some really.
Look at
I mean,
that. I mean, that
again,
is just terrifying.
that's
And he throws it
yeah,
over. I mean, away. But, and there's nothing
yeah.
open. Actually,
You could
ooh,
get to
I mean,
Higgins.
you
Yeah, you
will
get
you
to
will
Higgins.
get Higgins, but that's just such a creative blitz that there is, you got to slide, but they don't slide in
He's
times.
a he's a good coach, man. He's really good.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think he's going to end up in Baltimore, and that's going to be pretty scary for a lot of teams. I think this one should have been PI. We're talking about the pass interferences down the field. I don't know how this one didn't get called because Null actually makes an effort to come back for this
Yeah,
ball, and they
yeah,
didn't call it.
that's what you want them. Oof. Oh yeah, no,
Another,
agreed. He is just, oh my gosh, he's just all over him. It's unbelievable, frankly. There's multiple times during that route where
yeah,
you could have called something. And so, yes,
another blitz.
there were
That I
some weird
mean,
penalties on the Chargers, but good lord, that is a penalty.
yeah, this was another blitz that it's like this is just it's impressive, man.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, where do you go with this football outside of Null? I mean, you can't throw it to either the receivers are
no.
not open.
And the fact
You're
that
the
he almost
outside
completed
guys.
it, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's crazy to me.
You kind of would like to have maybe one of the outside guys breaking to the middle of the field instead of them both running outs. I would
Hmm.
I would say in this situation, but um I mean, you look at it and then this obviously this is kind of what ends the game. This was like I don't really understand the outrage about it. It is illegal contact. You can't put two hands around
Yeah,
a
exactly.
receiver
Agreed.
when
You
he's
just
20
can't do
yards
it.
downfield.
Same.
The Texans got the same call on the drive before with Jalen
Right.
Petrie with him basically shouldering a guy. So
Yeah.
I don't really know what the complaint
I mean,
about this
same kind
was.
of thing about the Raiders game is like, why, if you're a defensive back, why do you do that? Why would you like get in the squat position and grab a guy that far down the field? I don't understand. If I'm a coach, I'm really mad at that player for doing that because that's illegal
Yeah,
and that's not taught. So
man, this is yeah. That's again those pass
egregious.
rushers. It's
And then
just it's tough, man. Like they're
I
doing
don't
a
like,
Henley delayed blitz.
and I kind of see what you mean about Titus going back to guard because I just don't see much range from him. His kick steps are looking
No, he
really
hasn't
heavy.
since moving back. I don't know if maybe because when he moved to guard, he put on weight or something, but since moving back to tackle, he hasn't
Maybe.
looked all that smooth.
Yeah, no. And I'm not saying
He
Trent
looked
Brown
really
is
good at
smooth.
tackle. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
He's bigger.
but really Titus, like, really to start the season was playing awesome at tackle, and then he moved to guard and played well. But then he's moved back to tackle and he hadn't played that well. So it's
Yeah.
almost like, he's kind of, you're used to playing guard and then you have to move back out to tackle. It's kind of tough. He's not been
It is
bad, I would
tough.
say,
It is
but
tough. Agreed.
maybe we can go to the,
He's just, he looks like a guard playing a tackle in that
yeah.
clip.
And then you get this. A hell of a catch by Schultz here, actually. This was pretty impressive. I'm not really sure. When I kind of watched the replay, I'm honestly not really sure if he had to go one handed. He could have just taken another step and caught it normally, but he caught it, so fair
Yeah.
enough. And it's a good blitz pickup by the front too.
Whew.
Did a good job picking this up. Dari, I will say, has been much better as of late picking up some blitzes. He's done a better job. Zaire Franklin got kind of bitched on this by him, actually. He just totally got taken out of the play. Hey, look at that.
Woo. Yeah. I
Good
like I
job.
like the routes from honestly everyone there. I mean, other than a leverage, mismatch for the other guy.
Yeah, Hutch is
You
open too.
see
Yeah, you
some
could have gone
massive
to Hutchinson
wins
as
at the
well.
top of the route. And so that's called using players to their advantage. And Schultz is just kind of bending and using the space, and that's what he's good at.
Yeah, this is one of your Texans third and long runs. The classic.
The fact that these go for 2 yards just cracked me up too. A lot of teams they'll get a lot of yards out of theirs,
Yeah.
but not the Texans. Not the Texans.
How long is this? I don't remember this. Oh yeah, it's another third and long. Yeah, I mean that's fine.
It is what it is.
That drive was disappointing because that was the shot play to Jaden Higgins that got called back,
Yeah.
and that was a nice play.
And I don't know what the yardage was on that one, but
Third and
not
one,
necessarily.
so they
Okay,
they,
it
they
was
picked it up. Yeah.
yeah.
By the way, this I don't
He
know
was
how they
tackling.
missed. I don't know how we missed an illegal hands to the face for Jake Andrews when his helmet went flying off because the guy grabbed his helmet. But
Oh gosh.
this was impressive. I don't remember the last time the Texans ran on a 3rd and 5 and picked it up.
He got it. Yeah. That is I mean, well, frankly, more so you're probably gonna go for it. But I don't hate that play call. Because if you want to be an aggressive team,
No,
and then probably being more aggressive, thinking, yeah, I don't really know if the Jaguars are gonna win or the Jaguars are gonna lose because they're a good team and they're playing the Titans. And so you do some things like that and you get a good result.
I did not like this position at
Yeah.
all. That was
Agree.
I watched that and I'm like, why would we throw this football in that spot? I did not
Agreed.
understand that one at
Yeah,
all.
no.
And I didn't understand this either. Why the hell are we running the football? I guess it's third down. What was it out of distance on this? Oh, third. Yeah. No, I do not understand. Why are you running the ball on 3rd and 1 with 28 seconds left? Like, why are we running the ball there?
Yeah.
They didn't even have. I don't think they had a timeout at that point. So you're just conceding 3 points at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that at all.
Well, they really did. They really did concede.
And I didn't. I will say I liked. We can kind of since the second half. I don't really care to watch the second half
Yeah, me
without the
neither.
backup with the backup offense in there. But we can kind of highlight some of the plays in this game. We can highlight the. Is Jaden Higgins one on here? I guess not because it's a penalty. Yeah, I'll find it. But you had this one on the 2-minute drill too that was nice. I know it didn't end up counting. This was pretty good creation, and Woody probably should have got his foot in here. I thought, or his feet in here. Uh, he kind of didn't. I guess he just didn't necessarily know where he was on the sideline because they basically conceded this to you. I mean, Stroud does a nice job creating here as well. But I mean, you're set up here. If
Oh yeah, he
what are you
totally
just
has
able
all the
to?
yardage that he wants, and he just bottles it. That's too
Yeah,
funny.
I don't know why. I think I don't know why he continued to fade to the sideline so much. He could have just kind of slowed down. I know you have to get out of bounds, but I guess he just doesn't know how close he is to the sideline. I
Yeah.
really don't think he does because you got to get your feet in here because it's not like the throw is leading him out of bounds or anything. It's pretty much where you'd want this throw because you can catch it
Yeah.
and just fall out of bounds. But
uh,
and then let's see if I can let me find the Higgins throw because that type of throw they've run this RPO a couple times actually. They ran it against the Chargers too. It's
mhm.
a it's a good. I like it. I'm a fan because you have a lot of options on this play. Um, because you have which is you have Hutchinson insert blocking for a potential run, and then Kirk is like a sit down option against zone, and then if it's man, you can throw the one on one to Higgins down the sideline. We can stop it at the top. So I mean, you have obviously this isn't going to win against man, but if it's zone, they threw this to Noel last week at one point against the Chargers or 2 weeks ago, I guess, and he's able to pick up 7 or 8 yards because you just stop in zone.
Whew.
Um, and really, you probably could have run this ball and probably gotten some yards here too.
Yeah, just a shame. I mean,
But
that is way, way, way too far downfield.
yeah, I don't know what he's doing. I really don't know what he's doing there. I don't know why Ed is so far downfield. I thought in real time he just kind of fell, but he clearly didn't. He just kind of went upfield. I don't really know what he's doing here. He kind of just like falls off the double team and then just like doesn't stop. He just continues to. I don't know. I don't really know what he's doing, but you got to have these type of plays get converted because that's a beautiful throw. It's a really good release by Hutchins or Higgins too. I mean, he just totally wins. So you got to have those in the when you get down to the playoffs, you got to have those type of plays. Anything else you want to look at from this
I
game?
think that's really just about it. I mean, the offense was very fluid in the first half. They scored a lot of points, so it's just what you want to
Yeah,
see a
I
little
guess we
too.
can we can look at the Higgins touchdown. Where is that? Because that play was kind of cool. I thought you have Higgins kind of running this backside drag across the field. It reminded me of Nico last season against Miami, where like we're holding on
Mhm.
to the ball a long time, just kind of hoping he comes open. Because really, it's covered pretty well. And again, you're throwing the ball high to Jaden Higgins, which we've
And
talked
it's just
about.
what you love to see. That's why you get two guys on. I mean, they don't have Nico Collins on the field here, but that's practically Nico Collins there because it's just such an advantage. It's not
And
really a
actually, I didn't
true
notice this
route.
in real time, but Hutchinson is he's fake insert blocking here.
Yeah, well, that's really nice. You like that? You like to see a little mix
So
up there.
you talk about people talk about how it's a New England offense. I'll tell you, they weren't doing that. That
Yeah.
that that's LA Rams right there.
Hmm.
So
Very cool.
um, yeah, I mean, we've kind of talked about it. I guess we can kind of just wrap it up and talk about the preview a little bit of the playoffs. But we've kind of talked about it. Like, there's not a ton. Did my thing freeze?
I don't know.
Uh, let's see. I know you can hear me, but I guess my
Yeah,
screen might
yeah,
have froze or something.
yeah,
So oh, there we go. Okay, I got it
yeah,
now. Um,
yeah,
but Nick Caley, there's ups and there's downs, but overall, I would say he's been a
yeah.
pretty decent play caller for his first
Mhm.
season here.
Yeah.
He's done
I think that
pretty well with not the most talented
mhm.
offense, I would say.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that I think that they'll probably, maybe add another running back or they'll add, some
I
offensive
would agree.
linemen in
Yeah.
the future. I think they have the wide receiver room down to really what you want because you don't want to spend too much money on the wide receiver room. And you already have Nico Collins and you have two talented young wide receivers and Tank Dell too, frankly, who may come back at some point. So that's pretty much set. And I kind of like what we see from the offense because once you do, like if you look at the Chicago Bears, when you legitimately have a super talented offensive line, you can accomplish a lot of things.
Yeah. I mean, um, I think they need to continue to add more talent, especially like you could add a tight end, you could add a
Tight end too,
running
yes.
back. You could add obviously offensive line. So there's options, and I'm pretty confident they're going to add at least a running back. I think that's probably their main goal on
Yeah.
offense is probably improving the run game because pass game wise, efficiency wise, they've been really good. They don't turn the ball over in the pass game very much. They didn't throw many picks. I think Stroud had like 12 turnover
Mhm.
worthy plays all season, and 6 of them were in the Seattle
Yeah.
game. So, so you cut that game out, and you're protecting the ball at an extremely
Exactly.
high level.
Yeah. We want to
So
forget about that
overall,
game anyways. So
yeah, that game was a
yeah.
disaster. So you gotta, obviously the offense has to improve, but like you said, the receiver room I think is set. Maybe
Mhm.
you want to bring Christian Kirk back on like a cheap deal,
Yeah, for sure.
which I'd be fine with. I don't think I think people. He's been disappointing this year, I'd say, but I don't think he's been awful. He's just a
Yeah.
depth guy at this point. But you traded a conditional seventh round pick for him, so I don't really
Yeah.
know if like people are like, "Oh, this was a terrible
I
decision." It's
don't
like,
know.
well, you
Yeah.
traded nothing for him, so it
I
doesn't
like the
really
way he runs
matter.
routes. I'm seeing enough burst out of him to say he definitely has one more year. He's definitely a pretty good route runner, so really no concerns there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can bring him back, and then I would say get Jalen Noel more snaps in that situation. Like he probably should be the main third receiver, and then Hutchinson could kind of mix
Yes,
in with
for sure.
Higgins. So that would be my one thing with Kirk, but that's not Kirk's fault at the end of the day. He's out there. Like I said, he plays
Yeah,
because he blocks really well. Honestly, that's why he plays. He's a
yeah.
really good blocker for a receiver. So, and
Mhm.
like you said, he's a decent separator. He sits in zones well. He's a smart player. So he does things well. He's not
Mhm.
as bad as people try to act like he is, I don't think.
Yeah, lots to look forward to in the future, and also be happy about where the team is now because you just know that the teams they may play this week, next week, that they're probably a better team and they're on fire and they have a great defense and they have a
Yeah, they're
consistent enough
rolling, right?
offense now, so it's exciting.
Yeah, their offense can score, whether it's probably field goals, but they can put up points at least, and that's good.
Yeah,
We'll take that.
mhm.
Hopefully we don't have kicking issues in Pittsburgh because
And
Pittsburgh
that
is not an
always
easy place
happens
to
though.
kick. Pittsburgh is not an easy place to kick. It's windy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Chris Boswell's had issues kicking there. Yeah, I don't even think Boswell's made one over like 58 in Pittsburgh or something, or maybe he's like the only guy to do it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you can't
bundle
really
up,
expect these
Jacob.
long field
Bundle
goals.
up and be ready
Yeah,
to win.
yeah. I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good weekend. And Monday, obviously, I guess is the game. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be like 15 rows behind the Texans bench. So if they're not playing well, they're gonna get yelled at. Well, I'll make it known
No,
how
that's
I feel
funny.
about this play.
Yeah.
But no, it'll be fun. And yeah, appreciate everyone for tuning in. Obviously, I know we missed a couple weeks. Just been a busy time for obviously
Mhm.
holidays and Christmas break and everything going on. So been busy, but we appreciate all the support. Hopefully, we're back here talking about a Texans win and previewing a divisional
Yeah.
matchup, and we'll